From Limaland Motorsports Park, it's the Global Sim Racing Channel's penultimate round coverage of the CSI Shocks Spring Season Championship. With this and only one race remaining on the schedule, Brendan Rogers' 65-point margin between him and his nearest competition has his fellow competitors left to grasp at straws, hoping to find any flimsy hook to hang their hope hat. While the Camarillo Cannonball is undefeated in heat races, the only time he didn't win was here at Limaland, but that was only because he didn't race. Yes, a flimsy hook indeed. Will Aiden Perdue repeat his season opening performance with a win? Will Alex Bergeron repeat and avoid missing misfortune and find his third season win? Or is it finally time for Chance Crum to find victory lane? The weapon of choice is the Wing 305 dirt track sprint. And all the track action, including the heat races, the semis, and the main event, can be seen live as it happens right here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Joe Peak joins yours truly, Bill Soupson, up in the press box to bring you our Words Eye View. Hello, everyone. John Crackers Ambrose has director duties armed with cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Joe, for those viewers who missed our opening round coverage, tell them a little bit about Limaland.
Well, obviously, nothing has changed. Just like before, it's a quarter-mile dirt oval with roughly 16 degrees of banking. With the car changing, though, the way it drives changes drastically. Last time we were here in the midgets, which are smaller with a lot less power, but now that we're in the wing sprint car, you'll be sticking to the track a lot easier. But this is the sprint car with the lowest amount of power. It's the 305. What tonight will be about at a track like this is momentum. It's plenty wide here, so you have your choice of lines as the track evolves. But above all, you got to keep your revs and your speed up without that grunt underneath you. This is the last time we visit my home state this season, so for the Buckeye drivers, Bill, this is the last chance for them to snag a win on home soil.
We talked about the last chance. Running out of chances are the drivers to try to beat Rogers for the championship. Let's go ahead and look at the points now. Keep in mind that these standings take into account the 2 drop races allowed for in the rules. To put it simply, it's a driver's best 8 of 10 results. Now, we talked about it in the opening. Brendan Rogers can clinch the championship today thanks to the magic elixir that is drop races. For Aiden Perdue to win the title, he's going to need something bad to happen to Rogers, but that 88 next to the drop on Rogers' name, well, that's Rogers' largest dropped race, his largest unscored race. And I'll tell you right now, 88 cc's of drop medicine will cure any ills that might find his way to Brennan. So he's in really good shape right now. The rest of the drivers we talked about, there's Chance Crum still looking for his first win this season. He sits in third. Corey Day, another good driver, just a couple points back behind him. And then making the overlay, we talked about him last week, Jonathan Schaefer. He gets on there, 153 points back, but it's good to see Schaefer on the charts. There are other graphics to talk about. Let's talk about the Hard Charger Award. Not much changing here. Not a lot of points distributed last time. The youngster Bryce Lucia still up on top by a couple over Kobe Stidham. Stidham always puts on a good show. Chad Wheeler, he's beginning to fall. He's not racing much anymore. And then you see the other 2 drivers, which includes Jonathan Schaefer and the driver in second, Aiden Perdue. All right, those are our points races we're going on. Let's go ahead and talk to Joe about the series details.
Absolutely. We are in the penultimate round now, and you see the 2 droplets on the graphic there that show the 2 drop weeks that they have. And of course, as I mentioned, we are in the winged 305 dirt sprint car. So even though this is a sprint car, this is not as wild as you have in the 410. It's going to be a little bit more momentum based. The setups on these cars are fixed though. So all they really got to do is hop in and figure out how to drive them and search for that grip out on track. And what we'll do tonight is same as we've done all season long. We'll have heats to decide how they will start the semifinals. And then the semifinals will be the last chance to get into the A main. And as always, they have prizes that they will be handing out in the form of many different pieces of equipment that will help these drivers as they search out their real world career and see if they can advance that, Bill.
Yeah, talked about the prizes. The champion gets a set of CSI Shocks, courtesy of Hergod Real Estate Group, and second place gets $500 off a deluxe chassis kit from Joe's Racing Products. Another $500 off for third place for a deluxe chassis kit from Factor One Racing. Fourth place gets $250 off the seat insert from Sharp Advantage Safety Products, and fifth place gets a pair of torsion bars from Chopstick. So a lot of stuff to go on to help these drivers, as most of them all race in the real world.
Currently watching them just a little bit of warm up. The practice just has a couple minutes left to go, and then we get to the qualifying. And that qualifying is, again, going to be pretty important based on what I'm seeing with how the track has evolved too, Bill. Looks like that high line is starting to be desirable pretty quick, which means qualifying, you'll be really on the knife's edge as far as potentially touching the wall and nullifying a lap.
And there are more prizes for that as well. The most fast times this season gets a Samsung tablet with Pit Logic software from CSI Shocks and Pit Logic.
Listening to the stewards talking to the drivers a little bit here. It's getting a little bit dark out there, but the lights will be coming on soon. They do night racing around here, so that'll make for a nice cool track out there. It's already only 73 degrees on the track surface, even though in the virtual world it's the middle of June out here. So drivers, there you can see the temperature on screen, and even nicer for them, Bill, it's very low wind. As with all aero cars, even on the pavement side, just like it is over there on the dirt side, you really don't want a lot of wind with these gigantic foils on the top.
This is indeed a foil. That is a good description of what they race under there. Practice going on right now, then we'll get to qualifying. Our field's a little smaller today. Season starts to run down. We have a couple new names. We'll talk about those as the racing goes on.
Yeah, that's going to make it a lot harder to try and squeak in, just because it might seem like it'd make it easier, Bill, but honestly, it's something where you're up against potentially much more difficult competition, whereas if it was a lot of cars, you'd probably wind up racing against drivers who are relatively even to you, and so you'd be closer on pace, you have a chance to get in. If you're a slower driver, well, you're going to be up against much faster drivers now.
Indeed. Logan Rumsey is our fastest practicer. The youngster, hailing out of Manchester, Pennsylvania, the 12-year-old. We've been watching him. He's been coming along late in the season. Look for him to be very competitive. James Anderchuk also was fast in practice as well. Just about ready to get to the qualifying.
Like they just started it. Drivers heading out on track. This should be pretty much flat out, even with the track worn in a little bit out here in qualifying. They reset it to about 25%. So it's going to be a little bit dried up, but it's not difficult to keep your foot in it. It'll all be about that car control I mentioned, and again, that momentum.
Times coming in. Big names are all here. Aiden Perdue. Chance Crum is here as well in second and third position. And, of course, our point leader, Brendan Rogers. Go, Joe.
Yeah, I was looking to see where Aiden is, and already things up at the top are really shuffling around quickly. Barnes has put in a few very fast laps here in qualifying, and his last one is his fastest at a 12.1.
You can look there, the J by his name on the top left part of your screen, or down on the bottom, you get his full name, Jet. Man, you got to be fast if your parents name you that.
And he's now been overtaken by Rogers for the pole. Now, again, this is only to determine the heat races and who you will be racing against there. Those races will then set the field for the semis, as well as tell us who is advancing to the A-main without having to take part in the semis.
Rogers still sits on top. We look at Corey Day.
Aiden Perdue waited a long time, by the way, to get out there. I think he was sizing up to see what other times other people and what other lines his competitors were running. But I think Aiden's having more connection problems like we've seen earlier this season, which does not bode well for him.
right on board. Remember, Aiden Purdue got the win here in the season opener, but like Joe said, that was in the midgets. A little bit different animal today. Purdue up now to 4th.
Yeah, and that's his 3 laps at 12.2, so not bad for him. But we're used to seeing him all the way up at the top, so I'm a little surprised.
Looks like Brennan Rogers is going to get another one of those fast qualifying times. A little bit of time left here.
And I think that's everybody. Nope. Looks like we got 2 drivers that haven't put a time in. They are going to try and get out here, at least one of them. Matt Kaiser comes around to try and set a few laps. Again, our fastest is a 12.184 by Rogers.
And that lap's not going to count. Let's give him one more chance as he works around the back straight.
Oh, looks
Coming
like that
around.
one will count.
There he goes.
A 12.3. That's still well down there. That tells you how close things are to track this short. 0.2 of a second, and he's down in 14th. He's improved a little bit, but only up to P13.
Coming around to finish another lap. He's going to stay in that spot with a 12.325.
And I take it back. He's the last driver to get time in because our final driver out there is our admin, so he won't be racing. Just 22 we're going to take to the track.
And that'll do it for us with practice time. Brendan Rogers going to pick up a few more points in regards to picking up that fast qualifier prize. And as we wait for iRacing to go ahead and populate the first grid, let me tell you who this one is sponsored by. Our first heat's going to be coming your way thanks to Joe's Racing Products. Joe's Racing Products design and manufacture quality and innovative race products in the USA. Find out more at joesracing.com. You can see how far we're going. 8 laps, top 2 will advance, and there are no yellow flags.
Might be watching Chance out here on track. He's obviously finished all 3 qualifying laps. He's just using this chance to try and get used to how the different lines run. You can see he's kind of running different ones each time around. In fact, it looks like he's trying to, as he clips one of the tires, run low in 1 and 2 and then high in 3 and 4, which we've seen at other tracks sometimes works out depending on how they change. But looks like they've finished up. So we've got our first heat gridded. And our pole sitter for that one, Bill, is going to be Brennan Rogers up at the top. Aiden Purdue will be starting next to him since he qualified all the way down in 4th overall, but he'll be 2nd in the first heat. Chance Crum starts 3rd with Chase Randall in 4th. Matt Kaiser will be P5. Dustin Davidson will be 6th. Colton Collins 7th. And Ryan Mitchell 8th. Bill?
There you have it. Looks like our format for this round is going to have 3 heats. Top 2 will advance from each. That'll give 6 drivers. Then we'll have 2 semis where the top 5 will advance. That'll give us 10 drivers, putting 16 drivers into the final. Rogers and Purdue, they sit 1 and 2 in the points. If Purdue is going to start making some inroads into Brendan Rogers' point lead, this would be a good time to start. Just to make matters worse, how about we also add in there the driver who sits 3rd in the overall points, Chance Crum.
This is going to be something of an interesting track to drive this week, Bill. If our audience watches closely, this is great from the onboard. We'll see it anyways here from the side. It's very much a progressive banking around here. It's pretty shallow at the bottom. You can see there from the onboard as you get closer to the wall, it just starts getting steeper and steeper. And it can be a little bit hard to read, but it still comes down to grip. When I was practicing and tried it with the track mostly dried out and slicked up on the outside, if the inside was still a little damp, it was actually proving faster just because the car could bite in, and again, you could keep in that throttle.
The blue and yellow car on the top, that is Aiden Purdue. Our points leader, the Camarilla Cannonball in the number 30 on the inside. Purdue gets a good jump. We're going racing. Purdue on the outside, Rogers down on the inside. They do a little swap of position. And look at this. Purdue's out in front. Can he hold it?
Rogers is trying from the outside. He's using that momentum I keep talking about, using it well, but look at him slide up a little high. Oh, I'm surprised he kept the speed there. That worked out beautifully for him, just managing to keep it up.
Guy watching on from third is Chance Crum. Right behind them, Chase Randall. Randall gets a little bit of tap from Matt Kaiser. That battle for fourth. Up front, though, keep trying to dive it in deep as Purdue cannot get it to work.
Everyone's being pretty polite here at the start, though. Seems like the fact that this car is mostly flat out, that relatively easy to just pick where you want to go and try from there.
The driver in second, Purdue, has got to be careful that in trying to get the lead from Rogers, he doesn't open the door for Chance Crum, who's right back there looking to transfer.
I don't know. I'm kind of watching Rogers, and he's the one under threat, I feel like, because he keeps flirting with that outside wall, just tipping it. You can do that. These are pretty sturdy cars, but you whack it just right, suddenly the handling's gone, or maybe you could unsell the car and it whips back the front end into the wall.
Randall, Kaiser, and Davidson, fourth, fifth, and sixth, but they're out of the picture right now. On the white flag lap is Brennan Rogers coming out of the final corner. He's going to get yet another heat race win. Aiden Purdue will advance. Not the case for Chance Crum.
Nope. He finishes third with the other Chase Randall finishing fourth and Matt Kaiser fifth. Dustin Davidson P6, Colton Collins seventh, and Ryan Mitchell last on the field in eighth. Bill?
Watch one of these broadcasts before, you know that the action just keeps coming, and that's where we're going to go right now. Tell you who's our sponsor for heat number 2. It's going to be Factor One Chassis. Factor One Micro Sprint chassis have been providing an unfair advantage for over 30 years. For more information, factoronерacing.com. Joe?
This could be spicy because look at the front row. Jet Barnes on the inside, Corey Day on the outside. Then you've got Carter Batterby starting in third with Kenny Miller starting in fourth. Second half of the field has Jonathan Schaefer starting P5. Heath Smith will be sixth and Garrett Andrews seventh. And it will only be a 7-car field. I know it says Sam Johnson in there, but he will not be starting this race.
Youth is always a very important factor here in the CSI Shocks Championship. How old might Jet Barnes be? 10? You're too high. 9? You're too high again. Keep going. How about 7 years old out of California, Jet Barnes, our pole sitter, if my information is to be believed. Corey Day on the outside. Corey Day, a virtual grandpa compared to Jet. 13 years old. All right, let's go racing. Barnes underneath. He has a pretty good line, but the momentum from the top, Day is out in front.
Oh, and a big pile up in the back of the pack there. Unfortunately, everybody gets tangled up with each other.
Kenny Miller involved in it. Jonathan Schaefer, who sits fifth in the points. He'll have to work his way in from the semis as he's going to be well back now. Up front, the 13-year-old Corey Day challenged by the 7-year-old of Jet Barnes.
This is practically a free lunch for Day and Barnes at this point. They've got a big gap back to the cars behind them.
Kenny Miller gets together with Heath Smith. Smith ends up losing a ton of time back in sixth. Nice battle for fifth position. For fourth, this is Jonathan Schaefer with Kenny Miller under attack there. Kind of the best battle on the track right now as the guys up front just kind of feel comfortable.
And I think Schaefer got a black flag because it looks like he's having to come in and serve that, unfortunately.
That gives Kenny Miller now all alone in fourth. Carter Batterby is in third. Man, he's got about 15 car lengths up to the front too and about 25 car lengths back to the driver in fourth with Miller. So let's put our attention up top. Corey Day, Jet Barnes. Coming around, they'll be getting the white flag, Joe.
Not seeing any rubber slicking the track up quite yet, but it is getting very, very dry down towards a middle line you can see.
Corey Day already with a main event win. He's going to pick up a heat race win right now as he gets the checkered flag. Also advancing will be the youngster Jet Barn.
Carter Batterby won't be advancing. He finishes third. Kenny Miller fourth. Jonathan Schaefer, who served his penalty 3 laps down in fifth. Heath Smith DNF'd in P6. So did Garrett Andrews in seventh. Bill?
One more heat race on tap tonight, and that's coming your way thanks to WR1 Sims. WR1 is built by racers for racers. It's the choice of industry professionals like Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell. Check them out at WheelerMetals.com.
Logan Rumsey starts up top for this one. Hunter Brady will be outside of him. Lauren Imig will be starting third with James Andrechuk P4. Carson Batterby, the other Batterby, starts in fifth. Kobe Stidham in P6. Andrew Evans rounds out the 7-car field in this final heat.
We've been watching Rumsey all season long. He continues to get faster and faster as we progress through the season. Hunter Brady has been here for a lot of races. We haven't seen him race up front too much. Good opportunity for him.
Yeah, starting on the front row. We've seen it's looked like it's been pretty difficult to get out of the position that you're in if you're towards the back of the field. The front two have fared very well so far, Bill, so that's really good news for the 88.
Logan Rumsey, 12-year-old. Hunter Brady, 15. Add them up, and they're old enough to get into a R-rated movie. Logan Rumsey, keep an eye on him. He's going to be really quick.
Add them both up, and they're still both younger than me.
That's right. Pace truck working around the second lap. It'll be pulling in this time. We'll get this final heat underway. James Andrechuk on the outside of row 2. He's been around a lot. He's been very impressive. Let's see if he can get one of the drivers to qualify. We're going racing. Rumsey gets the jump. Brady, look at diving down deep. They're going to make contact. Emmett goes around. That's going to cost Brady a ton of time.
Andrechuk is the one who takes advantage. He's up into second place with a nice gap back to Stidham, too. All he has to do is keep it clean. Oh, and that's not the way you keep it clean. He got awful close on the exit of 2.
Rumsey sitting in good position right now. Andrechuk, the 11-year-old driver, trying to get a transfer spot. He's got Kobe Stidham behind him. Kobe noted for a hard charger. Would not surprise me if Stidham doesn't get this pass made. We have about half of the heat to do it.
Hunter Brady's back on his horse, though. He's already right behind Stidham. So before he makes an attack forward, he's got to really kind of watch over his shoulder. And in fact, he keeps getting closer and closer every corner.
Yeah, the best battle is back there for third. You see him trying at it. Now he's going to make the move down, and he's going to get one position. All right, Brady Hunter gets that. He has the momentum. Yeah, he shuts the door. Now he's up to third.
This is one of the few times you could really actually clobber those inside tires. You got to be careful. Sometimes they can spin your car around, but you can bring the car over into the front tires over them and manage to get away with it.
You saw Logan Rumsey going beneath the camera. He's on the white flag lap now. Just 2 more corners to go. He's into 3. He's got that comfortably done out of 4, and it's a comfortable win for Rumsey. James Andrechuk steals the transfer spot.
Oof, Brady's got to be a little frustrated. He winds up third, but the good news is he'll have a good starting position in the last semi. Kenny Miller, that was my things changed up on me. Kobe Stidham, finished in 4th with, and once again, my iRacing decided to switch it around on me. It looks like it's jumbled it up, Bill, so we'll just have to go to the next sponsor.
I'm looking at that timing as well. They're giving Brady second position. I can finish it up for you here. Let's go ahead. No, I can't do it either. Mine's having some weird stuff, so we'll just move along. Now, these heats are not going to be brought to you by the next two guys. Chalk Sticks, they don't get to do that one. JPM Precision, sorry, we're going to go right to the semis. All Gaia Performance Parts, semi number 1, your one-stop shop for everything high performance in the Midwest. Check them out on Facebook. All right, Joe, is your timing and scoring going to be able to give us this timing?
Yes, it will. It just seems in the new build, iRacing's made it so you can't sort them once you go past the heats. So anyways, Chance Crum will start at the front with Hunter Brady in second place. Kenny Miller will be in third and Matt Kaiser P4. Then you've got Lauren Emig starting in fifth. Garrett Andrews, who did not take the field, unfortunately, would have been starting sixth. Colton Collins seventh. Andrew Evans eighth. Looks like we'll only have 7 cars in the semi.
Top 5 will advance, so basically your goal is not to be last, next to last. That's a goal I can get behind. Let me end this heat. All right, Hunter Brady on the outside, Chance Crum down below. Crum sits third in the points. Brady was really fast in the last heat that we just saw, ran into trouble, was not able to come back, but he was able to pick up a spot, which puts him on the outside. Truck is in. Let's go racing. Chance Crum on the inside has it. Brady tries to dive underneath and get the spot stolen. I think he's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, that was nicely done. He found a clear bit of track, really used it to his advantage, stayed clear of everybody, because last restart, he basically just got tipped around.
Andrew Evans took the car really hot. He loses a lot of time, but he's still racing. Great battle up front. Kaiser and Miller are third and fourth. Right now, Lauren Emig in the transfer spot.
But he gets single file now, and you can see most of them moving up to that high side. The line has been climbing up bit by bit.
We are going 10 laps, 2 extra ones compared to the heat. Brady and Crum. Now look down low. You see that low line trying down there. Look at this. This is Matt Kaiser, I think, is going to get a position. Great battle going on for third.
Lauren Emig tried to come in way too shallow, lost too much speed. The 21 fell back because of it. As they work their way around 1 and 2, we're already halfway through this thing. And Chance Crum has certainly been hassling Brady. Ever since Brady took the lead, Chance has been trying to get it back. But if I was Chance, I wouldn't really be too antsy about it. He's going to get through if he just sits tight.
There will be 2 to go as they come across the line right now. Kaiser and Miller sitting comfortably, as is Lauren Emig back in 5th. In fact, there is nobody behind Emig.
This is a perfect situation for the 21. Evans and Collins have dropped off big time.
Coming around for the checkered flag. Hunter Brady is going to get the best of Chance Crum. And you see him coming across the line. Kaiser, Miller, and Emig. They will all advance.
Evans and Collins are done for the day. That is it for them as far as taking part in the racing.
Well, that semi is done, but wait, we got one more for you, and that's coming courtesy of Sharp Advantage, specializing in customized racing safety products of the highest quality. Here's where you check them out at sharpadvantagesafetyproducts.com. Mr. Peak.
Carter Batterby starts up top. Chase Randall will be next to him in second. Then is Kobe Stidham starting P3. Jonathan Schaefer will be fourth. He'll have to avoid black flags this time. Dustin Davidson will be fifth. And then Carson Batterby, both the Batterbys in this one. He'll start sixth place. Ryan Mitchell, I believe, is not going to be able to start the race. And now that I look at Carson Batterby, does not appear to be in the server. So this is going to be all 5 drivers advancing, it looks like, Bill. This is just for pride.
All right, let me take back what I said for the last heat. I wanted this one. This is the one I wanted. Okay, well, it is for pride, but it also depends on your starting position in the main event. So these positions still are important.
Tell you what, though, if you're Collins or Evans, you're probably looking at this one and feeling a little bit frustrated, thinking, why couldn't I have been in that heat?
Okay, we're going out there right now. Carter Batterby is out there. Got the number 10. Sitting in the inside position. Chase Randall outside of him. Dustin Davison, you are back in 5th spot. I have no strategy for you. Bring it home, baby.
I mean, honestly, I might sound like a wimp, but that'd be mine. Just ride around. Yeah. Just take the car to the finish.
All right, we're going racing. Carter Batterby going to be on the outside. Look how the inside's going to open up. This is going to be some fun racing right now. They can race without really anything on the line, so Chase Randall takes a stab at it. Look at the driver in 3rd. This is Jonathan Schaefer. He's been coming on strong of late, and he's going to get that position. 1 position and 2 positions, but he can't keep the momentum.
Yep, when you come off like that after a shallow entry, the car just, again, does not have the grunt. He's trying to make it work, though. He's picked up the high side. That's really where he needs to be, and he knows it. You can see he's clearly past Randall now, just for that 1 corner.
Despite the low car count, this little race has been one of the most exciting ones we've seen so far. This is really good racing up front. Batterby, Schaefer trying to find a line. He'll make a move in a second. Chase Randall trying to stick with him. Here comes the move. I knew it was coming. Schaefer underneath, tries to slam the door. He leaves a little bit of room open. Batterby goes around him. It worked so good the first time. Let me try to get on this end of the track. That time it doesn't work, and he loses the spot to Randall.
Yep, slide jobs only work if you can interrupt the momentum of the car ahead, and this track is just too wide for that.
Oh, but it was entertaining. Jonathan's going to do it again. This time he gets, now that's how you do it. He gets up in front of Randall. They go side by side. Randall comes up into him. Schaefer gets around. He'll have to keep it going. Moving into 3rd now. Dustin Davison. That a boy, Dustin.
Yeah, that looked like a little bit of net code. Unfortunately, it is what sent Jonathan Schaefer up the wall. It was a good catch, though, and he's not going to finish in last.
Batterby up front actually has some lap traffic to deal with here as he goes into Ryan Mitchell. That's not going to work. Batterby's going to lose all of his momentum. Chase Randall goes by, and the 26-year-old out of Texas, Dustin Davison, now up into 2nd.
Oh, and Mitchell almost gets in the way again.
And that'll bring it to you as we wrapped it up quick. Chase Randall gets the win. Dustin Davison gets 2nd. Joe, take it from there if you can.
Schaefer finishes 3rd with Carter Batterby taking 4th. Kobe Stidham, P5. We did have Ryan Mitchell, who you mentioned, get out late, but he finished 2 laps down. A little suspect move there, though, because he really didn't need to be there with him being 2 laps down.
All right, we are done. We know who is going to advance. They all do, so that brings us to our main event. This is why we came. Brought to you by Hergot Real Estate Group. It's the A-Main, serving the greater Indianapolis area. They specialize in helping racers find that home or shop of their dreams. Let's look at the interval of what we're doing here. 40 laps, 18 incidents, and you see that yes down there? Yellow flags, baby.
Well, it's going to be Brennan Rogers starting on the pole with Corey Day, and 2nd, Logan Rumsey, P3, Aiden Perdue, P4, which is where he qualified anyways. Jet Barnes starts 5th. James Andrewchuk 6th, Hunter Brady 7th, and Chase Randall rounds out the first half of the field in 8th. Bill?
Yes, Crum. Dustin Davison, the Texan, 9th and 10th back there. 11th spot is Matt Kaiser, Jonathan Schaefer, Kenny Miller. Carter Batterby makes it in 14th position. Lauren Migg in the 15th spot. All ribbons and curls in the sweet 16th spot. Our hard charger, and my goodness, there's a buffet full of cars to pass. That is Kobe Sidham. Gather up the chicken steak, cover you on the cows. The horses are out of the barn. Brennan Rogers leads the way. Corey Day in 2nd. Aiden Perdue looking on in 3rd.
There's a lot more cars on track, and there's a lot of bumping and banging, but everybody's keeping it pointed forward for the moment. Still, the mid-pack is just an absolute mess. Now we got cars around.
Different racing lines all over the place. And the yellow comes out.
It was Matt Kaiser who's the one that got turned around. All basically started when it looked like Carter Batterby dived down from the top to the bottom as he was trying to collect the car, came across the nose of Kaiser. Kaiser gets turned around, and the only way that he can save it is just let the car coast to a halt.
Get the nose cam there. We can see what's going on.
Yeah, this is going to come from way up high. There you can see it just tipped around from out of the blue. Not really much chance to avoid that one.
And we come back live. Up in front, Brendan Rogers, Corey Day in second. Aiden Perdue, the closest challenger to Rogers in the points, sits back in third. It's now or never for Perdue if he wants to keep the championship's hope alive. We're going racing. Brendan Rogers gets the jump. Day, Perdue, Rumsey down there, Anderchuk in that white machine.
Perdue being up into third certainly bodes well for him. Question is, does he have the pace to try and chase down Day and Rogers? Because qualifying didn't seem to show that.
No need to go there. Stidham has picked up 3 spots. Good for his hard charger numbers. Dustin Davison, the Texas, the 26-year-old, racing in 11th. We look at Rumsey.
He's trying to run down Perdue, but he's now got Anderchuk right behind him. Anderchuk's going to try that low line. You're seeing 2 distinct lines happen. The top and the low line. We're not really getting the middle one in there.
The driver watching all those guys, that's the youngster Jet Barnes. He is fast. Waiting for a mistake from those guys, and that might be the opportunity for Barnes as he comes right up as Anderchuk and Rumsey get together.
It takes a lot of awareness in these cars because of the way that they drift up high like that. Got to know if someone's to your outside just like that, they're going to tangle again.
They continue to battle back there in 4th position. Good battle for second also. Perdue looking on the back of Day. Day in the 11, Perdue in the 37.
Here's our answer to the question. Aiden's got the pace. Something must have gone wrong in qualifying that he just didn't have the track read right, because he's applying a lot of pressure to the number 11.
Got a good drive now. They both are taking the same racing line now. Perdue tries to go a little bit in tight. Now he's alongside. He's going to slide up in front, but he's going to slide up too far. Excuse me, says Corey Day, as Day keeps the spot.
It was worth a shot. Just experimenting at this time. A lot of laps left in this race.
Not even to the halfway point yet.
Oh, and there's those connection problems once again for Perdue. With as close as some of these drivers are racing, especially in a slide job like that, you don't want to disappear.
Man, but it is fun to watch. What is interesting, though, as we does the slide job again, let's watch and see if he's first to the line. He is not.
And it's Kenny Miller.
Miller gets put into the wall.
Ooh, really put into the wall.
Brady. Yeah. This is Hunter Brady on the inside. Boom.
Yeah. You can see just how quickly and easily these cars just turn into garbage blowing in the wind with that wing tumbling around like that.
There's Brady. Brady races on. So we get our second yellow. All right, now look what iRacing has done. They have credited Aiden Perdue in second.
Ooh, they must have been pulling that slide job right about when they threw the caution. So that the timing worked out great. Now, can he start to run away? Because you could still see Corey Day use a slide job himself as they come back green. Bill?
Here we go. A great start from Rogers. Going up high as Perdue, trying something else. He'll get the momentum off. Going down low was Day. They do their dance that they've been doing. Purdue out in front. Sliding up, that's Anderchuk that gets into Logan Rumsey. The youngster's on the side. Now he's got to back up on his four wheels again. Did we get a yellow? We did.
Yep, it was a case of everybody had spaced out since the start. We had a long green flag run. Now that everybody's bunched up back together, it's that old adage, Bill. Cautions breed cautions.
That's why I always like to get my cautions spayed and neutered.
It's a responsible thing to do.
It is. We're looking at, that might be Aiden Purdue we're looking at there. Yeah. We want to look at Anderchuk. Anderchuk would be good. Or Logan Rumsey. Either one of those, director, if you can.
Yeah,
Anderchuk in the white car. Go ahead.
Rumsey is the one he'll get into here, and it was once again that miscommunication. Slid up a little bit, thought his spotter would have told him that he was clear, because he was, but what he didn't know is that Rumsey had just a huge bit of momentum on that high side and shot up in there.
Rogers able to stay onto the lead. Purdue able to hang on to second. Boy, great start from Rogers. He starts way back in corner 4. Purdue's
blinking again, though, right when everybody's starting to come back.
He's on the inside of Day. Day clips him. Really not Day's fault. He just kind of showed up, and there he was. Purdue back in third now. That's Anderchuk next to him in the white car. 3 wide.
This is beautiful for Rogers. Those two battling like that. Just allowing him to pull a monster gap on the field, and we've only got 2 to go, Bill, so this is just about done.
There too. I believe we're going 40 today, Joe. I could be wrong about this.
No, 2 to go is on screen.
All right, here we go. All right. Okay. Coming out of the final corner. Working the white flag lap.
Nope, that was it.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Winner is Brennan Rogers today.
Second place will go to Corey Day. Aiden Purdue gets third. Jonathan Schaefer after that. And James Anderchuk. And with that, we'll come back. We'll run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Don't go far. You're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel. Streaming cyberspace into your place from the Global Sim Racing Channel. This is the CSI Shocks Spring Season Championship, the penultimate round here from Limaland. The results are in. Let's give you those right now. Brennan Rogers gets the win. He also picks up a heat race, so that remains perfect. And we got more news for the Camarillo Cannonball. He has clinched the championship with one race still to go. Corey Day gets second ahead of Aiden Perdue. Jonathan Schaefer and James Anderson round out the top 5. Back half of your top 10, that's the youngster Jet Barnes. Very impressive. It's going to be fun to watch Jet race some more. Carter Batterby and Kobe Stidham, boy, nice run from him. He's a hard charger. Started in 16th. He comes all the way up to 8th. Joe?
9th goes to Hunter Brady with Chase Randall finishing in 10th. A lot of cars in the lead lap in this one. Matt Kaiser was 11th, and then 12th goes to Kenny Miller. Then you get to the DNFs of the day. Lauren Imig finishes 13th, Logan Rumsey 14th, Dustin Davidson 15th, and Chance Crum last on the field in 16th.
And with that, let's have an opportunity to talk to our race winner, and that is going to be Brennan Rogers. We'll bring him down and talk to him right now. He makes his way actually up into the press box. Brennan, congratulations on yet another heat win. That is a perfect score for you, a main event, and I got more big news for you. We think that you've clinched the championship.
Oh yeah, that's all good news.
How'd it feel out there in this car? You didn't race here the first time in the midgets.
Oh yeah, it felt good. I like Limaland a lot. I don't actually care much for the 305s. Nothing against them. I just don't run them very often. They're not really on my list of cars that I run. So this is actually my first ever time running the 305, believe it or not. Didn't get too many laps to prepare. So I was actually, I think we're all aware that if Bergeron was here, I would be second for the interview. But I'll take my opportunity as it comes. And didn't really expect to do too well. Like I said, didn't get too many laps, but if there was any race where it's super important or critical to qualify well, it was this one tonight. So just try to keep it up front. Aiden was so fast, and so is Corey Day, and as always, so just trying to keep those animals behind me is kind of a trick in itself.
Since you always win your heat race, you never have to do the semi. Do you watch the event to see how the track is changing? So when you go out there for the main event, you're not caught by surprise, or you just feel it out on the warm-up?
You kind of have an idea as to where it would go. The issue is, the kind of issue is that the track always, for the feature, they bring the tractor out and it's always pretty juiced up. So you're never really sure where it's going to be by the end, right? That track, passing is so limited that unless it was terribly slick, I think it was going to be critical to start in the first at least a couple rows to really do well. So. I do watch the semis, but again, it's like I may not see that level of track progression in the future.
Talk about doing well in qualifying. You were the fastest qualifier, so that's going to help you in that one as well. Congratulations on a perfect 115-point day. Good job on the event win and the championship. Brendan Rogers, racing out of Camarillo.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank you guys again as usual, and Garrett and everybody at CSI. And Sam and just everyone that makes this happen. If I did get the championship, I am super thankful for that. I look forward to running Knoxville next week in the Nomin cars and running with the guys. All the competitors have been super fun to race with all season. So to run one more will be fun, whether there's anything on the line or not. That is what it is.
Well, that was our winner, as Bill mentioned. But I've caught up with Aiden Perdue, who finished in 3rd. And Aiden, you qualified in 4th initially, and then after all the heats and semis, you were still in 4th once we gridded up for the A main. What was happening in the initial qualifying? Is that your maximum pace around here? Were you surprised to be down 4th overall?
Yeah, this track's it's a short track, and I like short tracks. They're fun. I thought we had a pretty good chance going into this one. I like 305s. And they go pretty good here. So I was expecting top 5. That was just my goal in my head, and we achieved that. So that was all we needed there. So yeah, I was kind of impressed. We probably could have done a little better, maybe second or so up there, but either way, yeah, we were still All right, but yeah, talking through the feature and stuff, I like starting fourth because you can kind of see what the leaders are going to do, kind of what the line is, kind of watch what they do, and then yeah, it helps. So I was definitely impressed.
Yeah, and obviously you did finish on the podium. Talk about, though, the battle with Corey Day, back and forth between the two of you. Were you at any point afraid that you were letting Rogers get away, or were you content to just try and battle for second?
Yeah, that's another thing. Definitely battling with other cars while trying to catch the leader is a hard thing to do, and anybody or any racer knows that. So I try not to battle a whole lot, but at the same time, I knew I needed to be in that second spot and able to catch him. And once I knew we had that yellow, I thought we were going to be okay. But unfortunately, we got back to the third spot. But yeah, battling definitely slows the race down and allows the leader to get that clean, fresh air and go away. But I knew Rogers and Corey Day were fast all night. So that's definitely one of the challenges you face at the beginning of the race.
Next week, we go to a very different track and car combination, from the underpowered 305 to the overpowered and underwinged 410 at a very flat Knoxville. How do you feel about going there?
I feel really confident because last time we went there, I was definitely got the feel for what it was going to do, and I've run some really fun official races and stuff, so I feel pretty confident.
All right. Well, we look forward to that. That was our third place finisher today, Aiden Purdue. Bill?
That's going to do it for us here, except for the people we'd like to thank. GSRC, we got to thank the people at our sponsor, which is CSI Shocks, for making this broadcast a reality. On screen now are some of the equipment and software used to stream cyberspace into your place. Additional thanks to June Lalonde, who provides our iconic music. See the screen to how to get a hold of more of her great work. The CSI Shocks spring season returns for its final round. That's going to be in 1 week, May 12th. Joe talked about it. It's going to be the big sprint cars without a wing from Knoxville. GSRC will be there. We hope that you join us. Sliding across your screens now are some of the upcoming broadcasts. Check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, globalsimracingchannel.com. We got social media as well. Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_gram. Also, if you haven't done so yet, become a YouTube subscriber by hitting the big red button on our YouTube page. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Joe, Sean, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. As it was the Camerlan Cannonball, Brennan Rogers getting a perfect 115-point day, fastest in qualifying, wins this heat and wins the A main, and the cherry on top is a spring season championship. Congratulations to Brennan Rogers. With that said, we're off to have fun, storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.